Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Polyester here, and the Fall Masquerade is on. Started today at 8 p.m. It's been running almost 3 hours. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a 4-day event. Well, let me just show you here. They have a counter for it, just like we had a counter for the 150 billion bloodpoint event. Here's the counter. As you can see, we're 17 minutes away from it being on for 3 hours. So we have 3 days, 21 hours left. The challenge is a combination of the killer carrying the survivors to the hook and hooking them, and the survivors escaping the killer's grasp by struggling. And we have to do this 12 million times. So it can be 6 million hooks by the killers and 6 million wiggles away by the survivors, without perks. So decisive strike doesn't count, or items. So if you get away from a flashlight blind, that doesn't count. If you get away by using decisive strike, that doesn't count. It has to be wiggling. So it's a combination of hooks and wiggles 12 million times. As I said, 6 million hooks, 6 million wiggles, 10 million hooks, 2 million wiggles, whatever we can do to make it add up to 12 million. Right now, we're not coming out of the gate strong, if we're being honest. For the first 2 hours, we were at about 100,000, which I think, doing the math, that puts us at about 5 million for a 96-hour period. We need 12 million. I know it's only Thursday, and more people are going to play it on the weekend, but we need to kick it in gear if we're going to do this. Statistically, we're not coming out of the gate strong. And what are we playing for, you might ask? Well, part of the Fall Masquerade are new cosmetics for the Huntress and David King. I had hoped that maybe they were going to show us what we were playing for to help incentivize us to go, oh, I want that cosmetic, and make us want to play even more to reach this goal. But as of now, we haven't been shown any clothing. So we don't know what we're playing for. We just know that we're getting something if we get to 12 million. We very well may not get there. The devs had said that they would like us to not reach one of these and actually fail one of these challenges, kind of as proof that they aren't just handing stuff to us. So this might be the one. I hope we get there, because I really want some new clothes for David instead of that drab wool coat, overcoat stuff. And I think whatever the Huntress would get she'd be rocking it. It'd be pretty cool. Like I saw on this isn't probably what it's going to be, but I saw on one of the dev streams that, you know, how Matthew likes to do the around the web and art that he likes, and somebody had done a variation artistic drawing of the Huntress with a bear head instead of a bunny head, and it looks so badass. And I thought, oh man, that would make a great cosmetic. I'm sure that's not what it is, but that would be a cool one. Anyway, hopefully we can get there, and as a further incentive to get us out there to play, it's also double bloodpoint weekend. So we're going to get extra points just for playing. We might as well give it a try. Let's see what we can do. It was a really good dev stream today. It was full of a lot of information, and I think probably the most interesting bit was that Matthew confirmed that a new killer is on the way, and we didn't get much of a tip about, a clue about the identity of the killer, but they did tell us about this new perk. And this is the perk symbol. So they didn't tell us the name. He wasn't allowed to say the name of it. I don't know if in some way that would have given away part of the identity of the killer that this perk is specific to. So they only just described what the perk does. And let's see the quote here. Okay, your vicious attack makes the survivor drop their item on impact, and the lost item is damaged and loses 0 or 25% of its base charges. So you get smacked, you drop your item on the ground, assuming you're still fleeing, or even if you're on the ground, when you get picked up, your item is there left on the ground. It won't be coming with you. You're not going to be carrying your toolbox in the hand on the way to the hook. It's wherever you got hit or dropped, that's where the item is. Somebody else can come and pick it up. So it's going to be like a little scavenger hunt. Where did you leave your item? So all of the killers out there who are raging about getting blinded in the face with purple flashlights will be able to exact some revenge. Like, oh, you like that purple flashlight, do you? Smack, and then it's dropped there on the ground, and you're going to have to either abandon it or find a way to get back to it and pick it up again. So this is a very interesting perk. It's going to take a lot of the tools out of the hands of survivors who are picking like ranger medkits and think they're going to heal themselves for days or whatnot. You get smacked, your item's on the ground. And maybe when you pick it up, it isn't as effective as it once was. So this is an interesting perk for sure. And one thing that Matthew said is you're going to have to be careful if you're camping out on the finish line waiting to get some extra points for that last smack on the finish line, because you might end up leaving your item there if the killer has that perk on and you don't know it. And you think you're going to take your wicked cool item out with you when you get smacked on the finish line. It's going to be sitting right there on the finish line and you leave game without it. So that was an interesting perk. And Matthew kept pointing. He wore a bow tie today. He usually wears t-shirts. He wore a bow tie today, and he said he had told someone in a stream that what he wore was going to have some secret meaning. I don't know what that means. And he pointed to the bow tie more than once. And I'm like, so, like, what does this mean? Like, is there some licensed killer that wears a bow tie? Or what bow tie are we talking about? Is the killer the tailor or the haberdasher or what? And the bow tie is a clue, and he smacks people, and it's like, oh, no, you didn't. You're leaving your accessory right there. I'm getting it. I don't know. Anyway, that's the new perk. Yeah, if you see your friend being chased and hit by the killer, and he drops his flashlight, you can pick it up. So that was an interesting thing. And we also know that there is another perk in the works for killer. But when they talked about this one last week, they didn't say if it was specific to a new killer or if it was just going to be a general perk released to everyone. And that perk was going to be kind of like a reverse deer stalker, where, you know, as a survivor, when somebody gets downed, you look around and you know where they are on the map. Well, this perk was going to blind the aura of the downed survivor, so the other survivors would not know where the body is when they're downed. So if they smack them and leave them on the ground, you don't know where they are. You can't see their red outline of their body. You're going to have to go and find them on your own without a crutch. So that was an interesting perk that's coming as well, but I don't know if that's going to be exclusive to this new killer that they talked about today, or if it's just going to be a general perk for all killers. I guess we're going to find out. Anyway, this is the first confirmation that we actually have of a new killer coming our way, and yeah, I thought that perk was interesting. The haberdasher or tailor, or who knows what it is. I mean, it could be anything. I just thought it was very curious that he kept, like, pointing to his bow tie, some secret message, and I don't know what that means, but anyway. Okay, so what else did they talk about today? Yeah, they confirmed that Bill's never coming to console because it's a Steam exclusive. Talked about how this weekend is double bloodpoint weekend. They're changing the Ironworks of Misery map on the McMillan estate, and they actually showed a little bit of video of their test footage of it. I guess a common thing that survivors are doing is going upstairs on the Ironworks of Misery and hoping that the killer can't pull them all the way down and get them to a hook. So they changed the window configuration up in that little room on the top floor of Ironworks of Misery. 2 of the windows are always going to be blocked up there. There's 4 windows, I believe. And they changed the hole in the wall, where there's usually a generator where you hop in and out of the hole in the wall on the lower level of the Ironworks of Misery. They changed the pallet location there. There isn't going to be a pallet right there outside of that hole in the wall anymore. They've moved it further down. So that was a change. And they also talked about integrating a drop-off spot somewhere on the top floor of Ironworks of Misery so that the killer can get down quickly, and they just have to figure out where they're going to put it and if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to be on the inside of the scaffolding, inside scaffolding of the building, or the outside. But they talked about, instead of having to go down the stairs, that the killer, just like you could do in, say, Asylum, you could just walk right off with the survivor on your shoulder and get to a hook. So it seems like that's the map they're focusing on making changes on right now, that they wanted to share with us anyway. And let's see what else I have for you guys today. They talked about, okay, the pallets flying through the air. That's a physics bug, and it's going to be fixed. I kind of was hoping that that was going to stay, because it really helps you pinpoint the killer's location when you can look across the map and see it's raining pallets up in the sky. It's raining pallets. Just don't ask yourself why. So those are going to disappear at some point. The pallets aren't going to take off into outer space anymore. And apparently in the next patch they have fixed the hair bugs for Mag and Claudette getting their hair caught, and the nurse blinking into the basement by accident when she blinks through an area where there is a basement under her, getting put down into the basement. They've fixed that, so nurses won't be blinking into the basement anymore. And they have fixed the Haddonfield generators. That happened to my friend Kat when we were playing, where if you were working on a generator, sometimes after it was completed, you couldn't let go, and you would continue to work on the generator. And that happened to Kat. He was upstairs in the building on the generator, and he's like, "Guys, I can't get off the generator." And we tried everything we could do to try and bump him, or we even tried to lead the killer to him to try and get the killer to pull him off to get him in the game, but the killer was more interested in slugging us and not the person on the gen. So hopefully that will be fixed. Nobody will be stuck on generators in Haddonfield anymore. And then they talked about how soft bans are coming in. So for certain things that you do in the game, and I should probably bring up the rules for that, you can get banned for. Then talked about 24-hour ban, 48-hour ban, 1-week ban, and then after that, you can get permabanned. Let's see. Soft ban. I should have really found this ahead of time so I would be prepared for you guys. Sorry about that. I forgot that was in this dev stream because I already read the rules the other day. News and announcements. So the rules are spelled out here on news and announcements if you want to read them for yourself. And they are as follows. Okay, so the permanent bans are the same. If you're hacking the achievements in the files, hacking in-game exclusive and legacy skins, if you're any hacking of your save file and information in your save file is permanent ban. If you're running your game as a bot, where you're a robot killer that just stays in one place and keeps swinging, that is bannable. If you hack your progress, that's bannable. Permanent ban. And then, okay, here's the temporary bans. So the soft bans is what they're calling the temporary bans for the 24-hour, 48-hour, or 1 week, depending on how many times you've done this. Okay, harassment, communication, abuse. Insults, intimidation, hate speech, and repeated harassment. Griefing or intentional gameplay abuse. Working with the killer to grief your other teammates will get you a soft ban. Targeting specific users repeatedly in order to ruin their game experience, or holding the game hostage. So I have a video from a couple days ago where it says the Wraith held my friend hostage. That would be a soft ban, where he had Bob in the barn up against the window, and he couldn't get out. And he was there for over 5 minutes. That's holding the game hostage. That guy today would have gotten banned for that. Exploits using bugs or errors in design to gain a competitive advantage. Exploiting bugs, errors in design, or undocumented features to gain access to what would otherwise not be available, or to obtain a competitive advantage. Or unsportsmanlike conduct. Disconnects and or rage quitting. And okay, these don't need to be reported because they have their own analytics and they know who is disconnecting. Like there's apparently one player out there who is disconnecting from 80% of their games for whatever reason. I don't know if it's deranking or if they really don't want to lose their purple flashlight or what they're doing, but they're disconnecting like crazy. And then lag switching. That was the other thing. I might even put the link to that game where Bob was held hostage, because once I finally freed Bob by inserting myself in between him and the Wraith and creating space so that Bob could get out, all of a sudden, after about 15 minutes of pure fine gameplay, it got laggy. And so that, to me, was lag switch. We could barely find our way to the door because we started teleporting all over the place. That was lag switching to me. So, to me, that guy would be banned today. And then it tells you how you do it. There's a way on Steam, how you have to record the incident report, yada, yada, yada. I'm probably never going to do it, to be honest. But, like, just to let you know, be nice to people. You know, be nice to people in the game as far as the end game communication. It's not really worth all the salt. Just move on to the next game. Kindness costs you nothing. If you had a bad experience in the game, you're going to have another game experience. It's not the last game you're ever going to play. These games run about 15 minutes. Just move on to the next one. It's not that big a deal. I mean, honestly, if we put things in perspective, we got a hurricane bearing down on Florida. There'd be people who would love to trade places with you if you got face capped and you just lost it and you couldn't handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything's in perspective. So we play this game for fun, so we should all try to do that. And if you have a bad experience, just move on to the next one. That's my take on it. It's no sense getting salty about anything that happens in the game, really. Yeah, I think that's about it. And then Not Queen went through a long dissertation of all these things that are not bannable. And she wanted this clipped, and I have actually considered clipping her video to show you guys. But I'll just tell you the things that she said. Please do not report anyone if someone tunneled me, someone pallet looped on me, someone blocked a survivor in a corner for half a second before hitting him with a chainsaw. Someone tried to block me on the way to the hook as the killer. That's legal. Like, I can block you and try to prevent you from hanging up one of my friends. Blocking to the staircase to the basement is not bannable. So, if somebody's using borrowed time, and you know they're down there, and you, as a killer, want to block the stairs, I shouldn't even tell you this, want to block the stairs as the killer until the borrowed time runs out, you can do that. It's not bannable. And it says, unless you're holding the game hostage for, like, if you're not going to let people out of the basement for 5-10 minutes, right? That's holding hostage. There's no reason to do that. Someone waited for the hatch while I was on the hook. That's not bannable. Someone sandbagged me, blocking the window I was going to. That's not bannable, as long as it isn't systematic behavior, which I've also had happen to me with another streamer who apparently runs around and trolls people and tries to get them killed. That would be bannable at this point. If there's video evidence that you're constantly getting reported that you're blocking windows to make sure that other people die, you will get banned. If it's one thing that's an accident, it's like me first, and oh my gosh, I didn't realize you were coming through this window, and I'm standing here and you can't get through. It's an accident. You're not going to get banned for limited use. Teabagging is not bannable. Someone used an item or a perk that I don't like in the game. Not bannable. The killer dropped me on the way to the hook and then picked me up again. That's not bannable. That's the mind game to Try and fend off decisive strike. The killers are allowed to drop you before they think you're going to get that skill check to use decisive strike and get away. They call it dribbling. I had it happen to me 3 times on the weekend. Killer picks me up, drops me, picks me up, drops me, all the way to the hook, and I never get a chance to use my decisive strike. It's legal. I got slugged by a killer, not bannable. The killer trapped a lot around the hook, not bannable. I mean, these sound like they're common sense, but I'm pretty sure they know what kind of griefing comments they're getting already, so they're trying to fend this off and spread the word that this stuff, they don't want to hear about it. You know, they don't want to hear about it. Some survivors stayed at the door, and then I had to chase them out. Not bannable. Okay. And face camping is not bannable. So the whole idea behind the soft ban system is that they're targeting people who go over the line. But if somebody says, hey, you're not very good at this game, don't report them. All right. Basically, they're just trying to clean up toxic behavior in the game. If you get to an unreachable spot and stay there for 20 minutes or keep going there to avoid being hurt, that is not okay. The devs are working on a fix for the survivors to get around face camping. They want to try and make it so that you can unhook people from every direction to prevent the killer from just occupying the space that you need to be in to unhook. So that's being addressed. All right, so voice chat is not bannable. You can't report somebody for using Discord in a Survive with Friends team. That's not bannable. 360s are not bannable. Harassment is not okay, but you can say stuff like, wow, you're not very good. That's reasonable. And that's about it. There was a lot of talk about the soft bans. Those have come in and are going to be implemented. So what's going to happen is if you're reported and they said they have a committee that's going to judge the evidence against you, the case that somebody has against you for your behavior in the game, and then it'll just come up on your screen. It'll tell you how long your ban is. So you're banned from the game and tell you when you'll be able to play again. Hopefully nobody watching this is ever going to experience this and it won't come up. But just to let you know, we're trying to have a kinder, gentler Dead by Daylight of people being sacrificed to the entity and blood gushing everywhere. So that's what I got for you guys today. So let's be careful out there. All right, so here's your haberdasher perk. I don't know what it is, what it's called, but hey, you dropped something perk. And since we've done this now, 140,000 unhooks, 140,000 hooks and struggles in 3 hours. So we'll see if we get there. I don't think we will, but let's try. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you next time, and bye-bye.